Hailed the finest mass start in the British sports calendar, the 5th International Bicycle TT Race opens up. 100 riders push hard on the pedals for lap 1 of the Isle of Man course. And what a course! 76 miles of it. Hill climbs, down slopes, corners, and hairpins. The world's toughest test on 2 wheels. They start with a three-wheeler's breather down Bray Hill and then over the quarter bridge for a spin that takes them twice round the Isle of Man. Focal points of the race with a black and white hoop, trademark of the top-line quartet of French riders. Baldassare, number 7, and Ferron, number 6, burned the rubber in a performance that took them way out in front and made them the stars of the day. And here they go on Craignabah, 700 feet up, and that's taken a lot of climbing. Up the gradient to Ballock Bridge and the 100 hopefuls are thinned out. But there is still plenty there to fight out the lead, and the uphill and downdale course has a few tricks still to pull. And here's Baldassare, France's number 7, and these are the legs that pounded out those 76 muscle-breaking miles. Up among the leaders, there's a lone British rider, Morton of Birmingham, scheduled for 3rd place. Number 6, and second all the way, is Ferron of France. And here's the winner, Baldassare, number 7, waving himself in. Taking back the 2-star trophies, it's a day out for the men from Paris. And just to ram the lesson home, they hand out the last picture under the French flag.
On parade in Hyde Park, members of the No. 1 London District of the St. John Ambulance Brigade are visited by Lord Louis Mountbatten, who combines his inspection with many friendly chats. Later, he and Lady Louis had a word with the nurses, whose work in the front line they knew from personal experience in the Far East. A final word for a very junior member, and then the march past by those whose work goes on in war and peace alike. Signposts in Kensington Gardens direct Lord Louis to the camping ground of some old comrades, men of the Malaya contingent who marched in the Victory Parade. Memories of old times are exchanged between these veterans of 3 services and their gallant commander-in-chief, whose fighting leadership was a true inspiration to victory.
Delegates to the Empire Scientific Conference paid a visit to that mecca of all scientists, the National Physical Laboratory at Kew. The creation of a lightning flash is simplicity itself in this world-famous institution, which deals with every phase of industrial research. A scale model of the debating chamber of the new House of Commons was examined by the scientists, who noted the small electric heaters, which each represent 2 members and generate the hot air for which the House is famous, an experiment to improve air conditioning. One of the most famous features of this amazing place is the Yarrow Tank Room, where ship model experimental work has influenced the design of vessels ranging from the Queen Elizabeth to the humblest canal barge. Science has traveled a long way since we floated our first boat in a bathtub of soapy water, but it's still a comfort to plain folk to know that only 1 in 3 of these scientists owns a lighter which works more than seldom, that they all catch common colds like common people, and none of them can tell the state of tomorrow's weather unless they have corn. The lovely stretch of river at Marlow was looking its best for the first big regatta held there for 7 years. After weeks of atrocious weather, the sun came out, and rivermen, old and young, anticipated a day's racing worthy of bygone times. There was a crowded program. The 50 events attracted most of the best scullers and finest crews in the country. Marlowe does not perhaps call forth the hotly competitive spirit of Henley. At this regatta, rowing men are getting into their stride. All the same, the spectators saw some first-rate oarsmanship in a perfect setting on an almost perfect June day. The regatta season promises well if only the sun will come up to scratch. If only.
Greeted by Lord and Lady Rothermere, Margaret Lockwood arrives to receive her Daily Mail National Film Award. Mr. J. Arthur Ranks, another guest of honor, adds his congratulations to the many Margaret has received. Stars, producers, and directors pack the floor as James Mason receives from Lady Rothermere the award for the most popular actor in British wartime film. Another burst of applause as Margaret Lockwood, looking radiant in white, receives her silver-starred trophy, which she acknowledges with a charming speech of thanks.
Ladies and gentlemen, my feelings tonight are a little difficult to put into words. I would, though, like to say that tonight is the proudest moment of my film career, and that I am very deeply appreciative of the honor that's been shown me.
Congratulations and many more successes to Britain's first winners of this new award.
The weather at Lord's was just as good as up the river when England won the toss and batted first in the opening test match. Bowes opened the bowling to V.M. Merchant. It turned out that batting first was no great advantage. After weeks of rain, it was still a bowler's wicket. England were on their toes from the start, every player anxious to impress the selectors in view of the winter tests in Australia. A.B. Betzer, Surrey fast bowler, was England's hero on the first day. His 7 for 49 paved the way to victory. Despite a 57 not out by R.S. Modi, India were dismissed for 200, a poor total for a test match first innings. On the second day, England's overnight not out, Hartstaff and Gibb resumed with a total of 135 for 4. Old-timers hoped they'd stay together for some time, and so they did. Hartstaff quickly struck the form that made him the hero of the match. He soon completed his 50, and batting as freely as though it were a village game, went on to reach his century. Smales, the Yorkshire all-rounder, was brilliantly caught by Mankett in the slips for a useful 25. But the unshakable Hartstaff went serenely on and completed his double century. When England were all out for 428, His Majesty came onto the field. The Nawab of Pataudi introduced his men. Their form in this first test was too bad to be true. His Majesty congratulated Hartstaff on his magnificent 205 not out. Next day, Hazari was quickly caught in the slips by Hammond off Betzer. With 6 men out and only 185 on the board, India's position was pretty hopeless. But they kept up the fight. Even the Nawab of Pataudi was unable to come to the rescue. After hitting up 22, he was sent back to the pavilion, clean bowled by Wright. Now you do, last man but one, was bowled by Betzer. So the Indians were all out for 275, and England only needed 48 to win. However, they took that task quite seriously. Hammond sending in the usual opening pair, Hutton and Washbrook, who patiently hit up the necessary runs to give England a 10 wickets victory. Bravo, England. To India, better luck next time.